I'm gaining weight. I've never been this fluffy. My ideal body weight is about 170 pounds, and sadly, I'm about 200, and I need to put a stop to that because it's just going up and up and up. If I were 200 pounds and I was muscly, that would be one thing, but I'm not. I'm getting kind of flabby. This isn't a dig on anybody else. I'm not saying that anybody else needs to be the ideal weight. I'm saying that I would like to be. I don't have any big health problems, so I am lucky with that. Knock on wood. And even though I'm not in the best shape I've ever been in, I am still in pretty good shape. I can go outside and run 3 miles without stopping still. And I feel like I'm in really good shape for my age, but I would like to be in better shape. I know exactly where the weight is coming from. My family already knows that if I make cookies and they want some, they better get them before I do, because I will eat whatever is left. I don't want to live like that. I need to make these changes in my lifestyle or my health is just going to get worse and worse. So here's my plan. Every time that I eat something that I know that I shouldn't, I'm going to run 1 mile. Sugar is my big problem. I'm just focusing on cookies and cakes and sweets so that I can hold myself accountable. I've established some rules. Number 1, no treat goes uncounted. No treat is so small that they're going to fly under the radar. Rule number 2, I'm going to run 1 mile for every treat that I eat. Each piece of candy would be 1 treat. I haven't even thought about that, like a bag of Skittles or something. Oh my gosh. But the point of that is not to get all crazy with the math. The point of that is nothing is free. I'm never going to say, oh, that's too small to count, because that's a very big loophole. And yes, if I eat a big treat, it'll be bigger mileage. I'll have to estimate. I'm not going to carry around a food scale everywhere. Rule number 3, it's okay to have equivalent exercise. So I like to run. That's why I said I'm going to run 1 mile per treat. But 1 mile burns the same amount of calories whether you're walking or running. So 20 minutes walking is fine. That's about how long it takes me to walk a mile. Rule number 4, I can only accumulate miles for 1 day. That means I can't just keep eating and eating and eating for a week and then pay it off at the end. By then it'd probably be like 35 miles and I wouldn't want to. And then I'd give up. I have to pay for what I ate the very next day. If for some reason I cannot pay the mileage the very next day and run for 2 or 3 miles or whatever I owe, then I am not allowed to have any more sweets until I have paid those off. Rule number 5, no paying it forward. No storing up miles so I can indulge later on. It's only when I have indulged in something, then I will run a mile the next day. Rule number 6, there are a few sugary things that will not count against mileage at all. The first of those is sports drink like Gatorade or Powerade. The reason being I don't really enjoy those, so I use them like medicine. If I feel like, oh gosh, I'm just low on electrolytes, then I drink one of those. The only other things that are going to be free are breath mints and gum, for obvious reasons. The point of all this is that so far I have had 0 consequences for all the junk food that I regularly eat. I will have a few cookies, I will have a soft drink, I will have a donut when there's some available on the break room table. It's just a little snack. It's added up to where I weigh 30 pounds more than I should. What I'm trying to do here is establish a connection in my brain. Sugar means exercise. And I know what some of you are thinking. Some of those things you described are way more than a mile's worth of calories. From what I saw when I looked it up, running a mile burns about 100 calories. A donut is 200 calories, so that should be 2 miles. I'm not really worried about being calorie neutral right now. I'm just worried about establishing that connection that sugar equals exercise and I have to burn it off. So maybe in the future, I will worry about being calorie neutral and really count my calories and then do the exercise that I need to burn off that sugar. But for right now, it's just about the connection. It's about establishing a habit. Oh, one more thing. I know I've been doing lots of baking videos lately. If I do more of those are not free calories. I will pay for those as well. It's getting harder. Just finished at the gym for today. I started off this process with 3 miles because I've probably eaten 3 snacks in my lifetime. So starting off with 3 miles. I've been good all day and it's hard. I'm gonna reward myself. That's not the way I should think of this at all. These things have been staring me in the face all day long, every time I open the fridge. Gonna make myself a root beer float, but only a small one in this little cup. But it's gonna taste so good. I think this one might be worth a mile. I did the math. To burn 2/3 of a cup of ice cream away and 1 bottle of root beer, it's basically a 5K. It's 320 calories, which would be 3.2 miles instead of 3.1 like a 5K. I'm gonna cheat on this one. It's just gonna be 1 mile, sorry. I'm gonna pay for this later. That was delicious, but now my belly kind of hurts because I'm not used to soda and it was bigger than I thought it was gonna be. I feel guilty, so I'm gonna do a 5K instead of just 1 mile for this one. It's ridiculously early. It's like 6:04, 6:05, and I am headed over to the neighborhood gym to run on the treadmill for 3.1 miles, all because I had to indulge in a root beer float last night. This plan might already be working. I might already be coming to hate sweets. Also, it's super cold. This is why I'm not running outside. Whew, shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it. I should not have had that root beer float. I knew what I was getting into. 3.1 miles done this morning. I already feel healthier. Yeah, I'm gonna keep telling myself that. So far, this plan is working amazingly well. I know it's a little early to say that, but I had that root beer float. The next morning I got up and I ran 3.1 miles, a 5K. The running was not that unpleasant, but already I'm thinking, how much do I want to run? When I'm running and I'm active, I don't want to eat a bunch of sweets because then I feel like I'm throwing away all that effort. And then if I'm eating a bunch of sweets, I don't feel like running. So the feedback loop goes the other way. So you see that if I'm not eating sweets on purpose, and then I'm running on top of it anytime I do, hopefully the feedback loop will just go up and up and up. And I'll get healthier, and I'll feel better about myself, and feel better physically. Some very thoughtful person brought cookies in to work, and just left them out for everybody to share. I am not tempted though. In the past, I would have grabbed several. Not anymore. Each one of those is a mile. Somebody else brought one of these in. As you can see, 1 cookie is a mile. I'm a little hungry. I want a little snack. I realized just how much sugar I eat. Everything I see, like, oh, I could get that. No, I could get that. Nope, nope, no. Everything that I eat is sugary. And then I made chocolate chip banana muffins. Eat them. No, every one of these is a mile. I'm not gonna eat any, unless I do. Because I'm establishing this connection between sugar and exercise in my brain, I'm not so snacky anymore. I mean, I'm still snacky, but I'm definitely reaching for healthier snacks. Nuts, fruit, vegetables. It's my middle child's birthday, so I'm gonna break my streak and I'm finally gonna have a dessert. It's brownie sundae. It's the first sweet thing I've had, so I'm at a week and a half with no sweets, which is definitely a record for me. This plan is very flexible. It's not like I can ever have sugar again. If I want a piece of cake or ice cream or pie at Thanksgiving, I can have it. I just have to be sure to pay it off later. I don't feel like I'm dieting. I don't have a special diet. They're not foods that I'm not allowed to eat. Tasted really good. My wife says it has to be a 4-mile dessert. 1 for the brownie, 1 for the ice cream, 1 for the Oreos, 1 for the caramel. It's a good thing we forgot the whipped cream. All that for an ice cream sundae. This is some kind of treat my wife made off a TikTok recipe. Dates and peanut butter and dark chocolate. She wants me to try it. Thanks, honey. It's not a Snickers bar. It's not bad, but it's not a Snickers bar. I used to think everybody in my family ate like I do, with all the sugar and cookies and stuff. But we've still got this from my kid's birthday. We still have it. Apparently I was the only one eating all the sugar. I just got through Thanksgiving weekend, and I'll admit I was a little more free with the sweets than I probably should have been, especially doing this challenge. But I just kept thinking, I can do a mile. I can do 2 miles. I can do 3 miles. That's not a big deal. pretty soon it was 7 miles that I have to make up. So I just finished 2 miles. I couldn't do more, but I'm gonna do this. No more sweets until I've paid off the other 5 miles from Thanksgiving weekend. The biggest problem with having a sugar craving is that it's literally everywhere. People bring it to work, you see it every single time you're in the grocery store. It's strategically placed at every check stand so that if you have that craving, it's right there where you can grab it. It's everywhere. This plan has really helped me to appreciate the value of a calorie. No longer am I just eating things and hoping that they disappear. Now I recognize how much I'll have to work in order to pay for that small amount of dessert or whatever kind of treat that I shouldn't be eating. And anytime I almost forget and I reach for the sugar, I think 1 mile. So there has to be a but, right? There is. And it's a big one.
A butt! Wow, that's a pretty big butt.
Losing weight and getting healthier doesn't happen in brief spurts. In the medical community, when we talk about weight loss, we talk about permanent lifestyle changes. So if I do get down to my goal weight of 170 pounds, I can't stop this and go back to my former diet. I have to continue this, well, forever. Studies show that if you lose weight due to some new behavior, you have to continue that behavior to maintain your weight at that level, or you'll just return to your previous weight, and maybe more. But while this seemed like an extreme lifestyle change to me at the beginning of the month, and it was hard to fight the sugar cravings, I worked through it, and now at the end of the month, it seems pretty easy. I ran a lot this month, and most of it was not due to eating sweets. I saw my progress and I wanted it to continue, so I got up and I ran several mornings per week. I stopped eating as many sweets, I exercised regularly, and because I was doing so well, I wanted it to continue. The feedback loop just went up and up and up. So I've lost about 6 pounds over Thanksgiving of all times. If you would like to try this in your own life, it doesn't have to be a mile. You could walk for 5 minutes. You could go up and down the stairs. Maybe you could swim a lap in a pool. Just, it needs to be a little bit difficult, so it gives you pause and makes you think, do I really want to eat that? And as with all exercise programs, check with your doctor to make sure it's safe for you. But if your doctor clears it, I think we could all do with a little bit more exercise and fewer sweets in our lives. So I'll pour myself a root beer to end this video and drink to your very good health. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll continue to join me on my journey to become a little more awesome every day.